Greetings, everyone. We're going to do a test today. We're doing it on Maypool Farms. So basically, what we've got going is you start with the larger barn. So 2,000, because the pasture size 2138, I believe it is on that one. And this one's like 2160 something, if I remember right. Yeah, 2163. All we've got going on this farm is the barns. We've got two different setups. We've got 1,000 animals for dairy stuff, and we've got 1,000 animals for beef production. Because I'm kind of doing two different kind of tests here. One, it's not going to be actually work very well. I just dawned on me. The test I was planning on doing is one of the tests isn't going to work because I have the system. The lazy mod. So it's actually going to take care of the manure, slurry, milk, everything for us at each of the barns. One of the tests I was going to do, actually, let's go ahead and do that test, and we'll do it this way. We're going to turn this and this off, this and this off. That way we can do one test, and I want to see if there's any difference in manure and slurry between beef cattle and dairy cattle, just for curiosity's sakes. But what I'm primarily doing here is they did some changes to farm production mod. They greatly increased the cycles per month. Not too long ago, they bumped up the milling capacity from what it used to be. But it used to be, I want to say, 240 cycles a month or something. It was a lot lower than this, significantly lower. But with the amount of animals we have, I believe we are going to by gameplay that I have done on my other maps, I don't think we're going to need anything. We don't have any fields. I believe we're going to make enough money just processing manure and slurry with the farm production mod to pay for all feed on the animals. So what we're going to do is just go ahead and skip time to the next month. Or actually, let's do this first. We're going to skip forward an hour, and that will tell us right away about the if there's any difference. So let's take a quick peek at that first. $1,416 on that one. And these are fully mature animals. That way we can breed them. Whoa. Okay. That is a significant amount of more um, yeah, the beef cattle are putting out significantly more manure than dairy cattle. The slurry is the same, but we do get more manure with beef cattle, which, with what we're doing here, that's just going to increase the profitability. So go ahead and put that stuff on distribute. And that will go into this at the top of the hour. Selling, selling. And that's manure and slurry. So that will let us know. Let's see, what the heck was that alert? Nothing that I have to worry about. All right. Not sure. $1,167 were spent somewhere. Usually on most of my things, I have solar everywhere. On any building I put in, I usually put solar if it's available. Add solar, and that takes a lot of building expenses, maintenance costs out. So we skip forward a month. Manure, slurry. So we're going to bump this production up. Let's go to 200%. Bump this one up to 200. Methane is good. We're going to bump that to 300% because I forgot to do that off the get-go. We're going to change this to selling, this to selling. And that's going to be everything we're doing there. Okay. Now, unfortunately, we're not going to need to do it yet. But let's run by the barns real quick. I should have put a sleep trigger up by the barns. Save a little bit of running for this test sequence. Okay, we're going to be able to go a couple months at a time. Ooh, maybe not. $70,000. Okay, so our beef cattle are using up a lot more straw than the other ones are. How much straw have we gotten so far? Not going to be enough. And the only reason we lost money that last month is I didn't have any of the finance stuff going yet. And that should be good enough to top it off. We're going to come through, grab all the straw that's already been processed. But now that we have electricity actually turned on also, but looking at it, the methane and everything else, this actually is going to need to get bumped up. I'm pretty sure to 300% on both of these. Now, downfall is what we're doing here does not work on console because turning up productivity, this mod does not work on console. But it will work on PC. Get all this straw in. Let's just do it from this way back around. Now, doing this setup on the other maps that I had already running, and I just noticed a huge jump up. Those maps I had primarily just dairy cows, so we might be using a little bit more straw than by the looks of it, we're going to use up more straw. Interesting. Usually we can see the feed right there along the side, but it's not showing right now, but I'm not going to worry about it. The robot will do majority of our feeding requirements. So we're going to have to keep an eye on this stuff, and we'll, of course, load this up when needed, but I don't think we're going to need to refill any of this stuff for at least 2 months. So let's see how this goes. Yeah, we're good on feed. Yeah, I really should have done a sleep trigger over here or something so we don't have to move as far. Actually, let's cheese it a little bit. We're going to put this tractor up by the front door. Now, if you play Maypool Farms, which is what this is, I'm pretty sure, if I remember right, this is the sheep pasture here, and over by where we have farm production is the horse pasture. But we're just going to work the cattle. Testing this out. If I am correct, we should be 200 and something thousand of earnings. We were at what, 79? No, it's not. We didn't bring in as much money as I was expecting. Let's double check. Okay, settings are normal. Straw is going to have to get done again. All right. Methane is way up. So what this is telling me is we can't process enough. Um, I'm going to have to look at that here in a minute. It's giving us a fault code for some reason. Manure. Where we show we have manure. We show we have methane. Oh. That wasn't at selling. That would explain why the money was short. You know what? Let's go ahead and drop it down, because we have to do straw again. Six, 5, 7, 8, 9. Boom. That's what was. Now that we've got all that power sold, boom. Yep. We're able to continue on with business. But we'll have to see later. As you can see, now that I actually have everything turned on correctly, we're going to have a lot of money, more than enough money to feed the animals just processing their byproducts. We haven't even started dealing with milk yet. Speaking of, their health is at 100%. And let's go to the other barn, allow. And this basically told me right there by what we're seeing right here, right now, we're going to fill up on the methane. We're going to be over full on methane, and we'll have no way to use it all up. So what I'm thinking about doing is buying some canola so we can make diesel, and we could sell that also. But we've already proved my point right now. We're not able to process enough methane. Looking at the trailers, I do have a lot of different mods on here. But, okay. I can move methane with this trailer. That's only 8,000 liters at a time. $32,000. $32,000. Okay, so 32,000 is as much as we're going to be able to move in methane at a time. Because I am not seeing any of these trailers that give us a huge amount having methane as an option. Except for the two with 32,000. So we're probably going to have to go and do something with excess methane. And what I'm planning on doing with that is getting that semi truck that semi trailer and a truck to be able to move methane out. All right, what are we looking at? Plenty. I don't think we're at the point that we have to stock any of that stuff up yet. But this just basically proved my point. Now that we have everything, see, let's look at this. Silage. All right. Just shy of 600,000. How's the hay, straw, and silage here? Yeah, plenty. So basically, we have to refill the straw every month. But yeah. Selling. Nothing else that we can add to that to lower the methane to my knowledge. Yeah. We would have to sell methane eventually. But let's do one more month. 682,000. With the farm production going full bore, as much as it could possibly process. Tell me there's no way we would be able to pay for our animal feed. That's almost 600,000 right there. And so let's go ahead. I'm going to do it very simple here. And I don't feel like doing too much work on it. Trailer. Nope, that one didn't have methane. This one had methane. And only 32,000. We're going to double check to make sure. Yeah. There's no way around it. We have to go with one of these, which is not what I wanted to do. And I don't care about the rest of it. And we'll get just a simple semi. Let's go with we'll go with this one. And that's good enough for me. I don't care about the rest of it. That's not my usual semi loadout. Just wanted to change it up a little bit. Okay. Oh, that's what was throwing me off. This is an electric. All right, so what I'm going to do I don't actually know where the methane loads out of. There it is. All right. B. All right. I'm not sure how much. A decent amount, not huge. And the problem is we have no other way to get rid of methane. That is an issue. But considering the cost of raising the cattle, and we're going to go and do that right now. What we need is uh, hey, $90 per thousand. Yeah. Straw is cheaper than that from what I remember. We'll look at that here. Silage is 200, so that's the most expensive thing we have to get. And that's pellets, not regular raw straw. That's up top. Yeah. So in all actuality, we've got plenty of money working through here to keep everything loaded up. Okay, prime example, 400. Let's say 350,000. And this is going to be a lot more. Let's go almost 1,000,000 liters of silage. Which is our most expensive thing to fill the barns up with. And like I said, the biggest issue we will have is getting rid of the methane. And that's just going to be time consumption. With 300. Canola costs about $9.76. Yeah. be easily well within our it'd be cost productive to buy canola, make it into diesel, and sell the diesel. It would actually be, we'd make money on it. So August, September, October, November, we're 4 months into this experiment, and we're over 700,000 of uh, money made, plus all that money we just spent on that tractor and that trailer. And I'm going to call it at about 900,000. That's good enough. We're not even producing milk yet, the milk yet to sell. We haven't sold any of the animals. Uh, this is easily. All right, we're going to want to get some hay. Soon also. But yeah, it's definitely uh, possible. You don't have to do any of it. Now, if you do this as a starter farm, you get these 3 grass fields and then these 2 fields also. So I would go take those grass fields and bring them in, make hay with it, or turn that into silage, because that is the most expensive part of doing this. And I'm pretty sure those. Yeah, I'm pretty sure those 3 fields would give you enough silage, which is the most expensive thing doing this. And you'd be able to make a decent amount of funds. I really wish there was a way for us to transport this methane quicker than this. Okay, that's still going. Now I could have gone and left this a lot closer. Once the straw lowers down, we are going to need to buy some hay. I'm just waiting for that straw to finish loading into the trailer. Figure while we're doing that, since it takes so long, let's work with moving this methane. All right. All right. Let's do 600,000. I didn't look. That's on me. We're going to have to make another quick run by that other one real quick. Okay, the beef cows use up a lot more straw, but they don't go through as much hay. Interesting. Yeah. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to top these things off. It's proved its point. Major downside is we have to do something for the methane. Because we are going to be overflowing with that, and it will stop production of everything else and slow our income down if we don't get rid of it. That's good enough for now. So need a bunch more methane trips. Yeah, this isn't enough grass here. We needed more. I'm not grass, hay. Yeah, we're gonna need another 400,000. About that, but that'll last a while. At least a couple more months. We'll do some more later if I continue doing this, because I've already basically proved the basics of this. We got a couple of the guys that do a lot better breakdowns, spreadsheets, and everything else. Me, my simplistic views, massive amounts of cash flow. So personally, oh, you won't let me dump with the frickin' with it turned off. Besides the issue with methane, money is going to go down a little bit. Because these need to get dropped down a little bit. We're doing it faster than the animals can produce right now. I believe when we get both of these barns full, one facility will not be able to process all of the manure and slurry. And I would just go and sell the excess right here. Let it build up. And when I get it close to a full load, sell it. So what we're looking at with this system, as it sits right now, we're going to do one more sleep cycle. 834,000. I'm not going to look at it any closer than that. That's 500,000, which would be about right because I was doing the math at around 200,000 of income on my other maps from just, that was my estimate from just my cattle. After turning that down, okay, we're building up slurry and stuff again. So in all reality, methane's almost full. You're going to have to sell out methane because, yeah, we'll make some diesel. With some canola in there, you can make a lot of diesel, make some money from that too. That will use up a little bit more of the methane. Sell it. That's even more money. So what I'm going to do is show you the mods that have to be in for this to work. There is that trailer, a trailer that will work on with methane in that mod. But this farm production mod is basically all I'm running is that farm production mod, and for getting the grains and stuff in, buying the straw and things like that. That is the multi-fruit buying stations. And I'm just looking to see if I can find it again. There it is. Multi-fruit buying station. That's where I'm getting everything instead of having to go out and get pallets and everything else. So the one I'm using is this one right here. You have there's other ones. You've got one that's a 40% discount, and I believe one at 60% discount. I use this one, which gives you a 10% discount, but I can't go any lower. I don't have anything that gives us any lower. So basically, that is what we're looking at. $200-something thousand of income. Oh, wait, no, there is the one more mod. Production. It's production control. This mod right here that allowed us to have higher production capabilities is not, it doesn't work on the console from what I understand. But, oh well. You want some massive monies? You run the grain, coffee production mod. Normal difficulty, you keep up with everything. You're making a couple million when you sell it all off in March, February, March, which is the best pay time. Several million. Second year, first year, because you're going to only be a couple months worth, it's still over $1 million. I don't use this mod past the first year a lot of times because it just makes you too much money. So, hope you liked the video. Questions, comments, give me a shout out in the comments there. But yeah, that's basically farm production mod. When you're running cattle, you make more money processing the manure and everything than it takes to feed the animals by buying the feed. So, something to think about. You have a good one, all.